Hello, this is Carrie Vacanti with Stampiphany, a great stamping idea. Today we're going to be using the Festive Fireplace bundle. It's a framelit and photopolymer set found in the current holiday mini catalog. I'm also using some Stampin' Up watercolor paper, and I'm going to be using the black archival ink as my color because that's watercolor friendly when you want to use your Stampin' Up ink colors to watercolor. The stockings, what I did with those is that I put them all on the same block. Since I'm using the same color, it makes it go a little faster if you just mount them on the same block, ink them up, and stamp them. Once I get done stamping all my images here, I'm going to color those in with my Stampin' Up markers and an aqua painter. And I'm just using a white laminated sheet there. I got that idea from Christina Werner as my painter's palette. Once I get started with the coloring, I'm going to go ahead and play some music for you, and then when we get done with that, I'll walk you through how I put the card together.
Thank you for sticking with me as I do my coloring. I'm just finishing up on the fire right now. And now what I'm going to do is cut them out, and I used the framelits to do that. And I colored the background of the fireplace. I noticed it just needed to be something other than just that stark, almost white color. So now I'm going to put some dimensionals behind the fire, just 2, and put those in the fireplace. And a couple behind the pine bough, and just kind of assemble those. And forgive me, I don't know what I was thinking. I put the fireplace upside down. No one will really notice except for all of us now that I've mentioned it, but the fireplace is actually supposed to go the other direction, so just if you make this card, just know that mine is upside down, but you can do yours right. But I was not about to recolor everything and redo it, so I'm taking my fine tip glue pen and I'm just going to put 3 little dots on my pine bough so that I can hang my stockings on there. I really like this fine tip glue pen because it doesn't take hardly any time at all to dry, so it works really well for little pieces like this, and they dry quick. So now we're going to assemble the card. I have 3 colors here: Soft Suede, Mossy Meadow, and Old Olive, and I'll put the sizes down in the description box. Basically this size is 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, and I've scored it 1 inch on both sides. And this piece is 8 1/2 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it 2 inches in on both sides. And I'll repeat that process again with the Mossy Meadow. And so this is my back piece, the Soft Suede is my front piece, and the Old Olive, the shorter piece, is my middle. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to dry emboss them, and I'm going to use the framelits to cut the middle out. So here they are, all finished and ready to assemble. I used the tags, I believe the tags and labels set, and I used the woodland to do the front and the brick wall to do the middle. So I'm going to softly bend those there and get those sides back again, and you can see how they stand up really nicely. And when I get those folded and ready to go, we're going to put some adhesive on the sides there and start gluing those together. So first thing we need to do is put our fireplace in there, and I used fast fuse. I wanted something a little heavier duty than the snail, just simply because this piece was a little heavy and I wanted to make sure it would stay in the card. So here's me centering it and making sure that it looks good in there. And that's all I put on the inside. Now I'm going to take some fast fuse. You could use tear tape if you want to, or another type of strong adhesive. If you like liquid Tombow, you could do that as well.
I'm just going to line those up. I'm using the table to make sure that they're flush and get those to stick inside there. As you can see, this card is actually really easy to put together. It obviously took a lot longer to watercolor than it did to put it together. So before I put the front on, I'm going to add my cat. My cat was colored in honor of my two black cats. I know it's a little gray, but when they're shiny in the light, they look gray. And now I'm going to add the front on there, of course using fast fuse. And I did it this way so that I could wrap the front around so the seams would be in the back. And that's why I did it in that direction. So you can see this is really starting to come together, and it will fold flat as you saw. Now it's time to add the greeting. Again, I just stamped that with Cherry Cobbler, and I put it on just a scrap of some watercolor paper I had just lying around after I had die cut all the rest of the pieces. I'm going to take my mini banner punch here and just shimmy that in there and just trim off the sides to give it a little fancy edge. And then I'm going to use my fine tip glue pen to kind of glue that on. I did realize that I probably should have put a little more glue on there because it didn't want to stick. And with that dry embossing, not all the places are, I guess they're different levels, so it was a little hard, and I accidentally smeared it with my thumb. But you get the idea. Just take some glue. I could have used liquid Tombow on there too, and that would have been fine, but my fine tip was handy at the moment. So that was me just trying to see if I could get my finger smudge off of there, and I think I got most of it, but anyway, it wouldn't be handmade for me if it didn't have a fingerprint somewhere, right? So now I'm just adding my candy canes that I've die cut out. Again, liquid Tombow might have worked a little better just because of the different levels of the cardstock, but the liquid fine tip ended up working just fine. So I'm going to add my little candy canes, and once those are added, the card is done. I hope you enjoyed this card and give it a try. I hope you have a happy holiday season. Have a great day.